You say something, and the moment it leaves your mouth, you wonder if it was wrong, not wrong factually, wrong for you to say, like you just stepped onto a stage wearing a costume that almost fits but you know it doesn't, and you're waiting for someone to notice. This isn't about shyness. You can talk, you can laugh, you can hold a conversation, but something underneath is always watching, monitoring your tone, checking if you laughed too loud, wondering if they actually like you or the version of you that just showed up for them. And the strangest part, the more you want them to see the real you, the harder it becomes to find it. You leave the conversation replaying it, not because something went wrong, but because you're not sure who was even there. Over time, this starts to shape things quietly. You hold back opinions with new people. You wait to see what they value before you reveal what you value. You become, without meaning to, a very convincing mirror, and then you wonder why you feel invisible. Psychologists call a pattern like this self-monitoring, a personality trait first described by researcher Mark Snyder in the 1970s. High self-monitors are extraordinarily attuned to social cues. They adjust constantly. They read rooms the way others read sentences. But the cost is this: after enough adjusting, you can lose track of the baseline. Before we go further, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not performing because you are fake. You are performing because somewhere early, consistency felt dangerous, because being fully yourself in front of an unknown person carried risk. Maybe it still does. The self-monitoring isn't a flaw in your character. It's a flaw in a system that was once survival. The brain doesn't learn social caution because it's broken. It learns it because caution worked. And now you're carrying a tool that solved yesterday's problem into rooms where the problem no longer exists. That's not weakness. That's just a pattern that hasn't been updated yet. Here's what's actually happening inside you. When you meet someone new, your brain's threat detection system, the amygdala, activates before your thinking mind has a chance to catch up. It's not reading danger in the traditional sense. It's reading uncertainty. And to the amygdala, uncertainty and threat feel almost identical. So your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for your sense of self, your values, your voice, gets partially overridden. You don't disappear, but you go quiet. Here's a simple mental model. Think of your identity like a radio signal. In familiar environments, the signal is strong and clear. You know what station you are. But in new social situations, the signal gets interference. Other frequencies crowd in. Who do they need me to be? What's safe here? What do they want? And for a moment, your station cuts in and out. You're not gone. You're just harder to tune into. Visual, waves of sound frequency overlapping. This is compounded by something called evaluation apprehension, a concept from social psychologist Robert Zajonc. When we believe we're being observed and judged, our performance on complex tasks drops, and expressing your authentic self is a complex task. It requires memory, emotion, language, and vulnerability all at once. Under social scrutiny, that process becomes less fluid, so you default to simpler outputs, safe answers, agreed upon opinions, the version of you that doesn't risk much. So how do you stop feeling like a fraud without forcing yourself to perform authenticity, which is just a different kind of performance? Here are 4 principles, each tied to how your brain actually changes. Principle 1. Lower the stakes of the first impression. The fraud feeling peaks when you believe this moment defines everything. But research on relationship formation, including work by psychologist Arthur Aaron, shows that connection deepens through repeated small exposures, not one perfect meeting. So your only job in a new interaction isn't to be impressive. It's to be present enough to return. Real-life example. Instead of trying to say something memorable, ask one genuine question and actually listen to the answer. That's it. That's the whole task. Principle 2. Anchor to one true thing. Visual. person looking out a window, quiet and still, before a social situation where you know you'll monitor yourself. Name one thing that is genuinely true about you right now. Not an achievement, not a role. One honest thing. I'm someone who cares about honesty. I find this topic actually interesting. I'm a little nervous, and that's okay. This works because naming internal states, a process called affect labeling, reduces amygdala activation. You're not calming down through willpower. You're giving the emotional brain a signal. I see you. I've named you. You can lower the alarm, one anchor, before you walk in. Principle 3. Stop waiting to feel ready to be yourself. The fraud feeling tricks you into thinking, once I know this person better, I'll be more myself. But research on vulnerability and trust, including Brené Brown's work on shame resilience, shows the causal direction runs the other way. You become more yourself by sharing, not after the relationship is safe. Disclosure builds trust. Trust creates safety. Safety allows authenticity. Real-life example, share a small, honest preference. Not a confession, just a real one. I actually hate small talk. What's something you've been thinking about lately? A small true thing offered first. Watch what it opens. Principle 4. Recognize the monitor as a part, not the whole visual. Person walking slowly through a quiet street at night. Internal family systems theory, developed by psychologist Richard Schwartz, suggests that the part of you that monitors and performs isn't your enemy. It's a protector. It learned that role early. It's been working very hard for a very long time. When you notice yourself performing, don't fight it, just notice it. There's the monitor. It's trying to keep me safe. This creates psychological distance, what researchers call decentering, which loosens the monitor's grip without forcing it away. You can't bully your way into authenticity, but you can gently observe your way there. Here's the one model to hold on to. Your authentic self is not something you lost. It's a signal that needs the right conditions to come through clearly. New people create interference. The amygdala triggers, the monitor steps in, the signal cuts out. Your work isn't to eliminate the interference. It's to keep transmitting anyway, with one anchor, one honest thing, one small offering, until the signal stabilizes. Every new relationship where you stay present is your nervous system learning. This room is safe. I can be here. And slowly, gradually, the fraud feeling has fewer places to live. You've been carrying this for a while. The quiet exhaustion of performing for people who might actually like the real version of you, if you could only let them see it. That's not a character flaw. That's a person who learned early that being fully seen wasn't always safe. And now you're in rooms where it might be. You don't have to fix this all at once. You don't have to become fearless or radically open overnight. You just have to keep noticing when the monitor steps in, when the signal drops, when you start adjusting before anyone asked you to. And then, gently, without force, come back to one true thing. Visual, waves moving slowly, fading to dark. The fraud feeling fades not when you become more impressive, but when you become more willing to be exactly who you already are.